Hello everyone, my name is Jay and welcome to the second replay analysis. This match was from the 27th of July. It was a 5v5 ranked game, obviously, right, and just before the video gets underway, I want to mention that for whatever reason the file got corrupted, so the actual full game cannot be shown. It cuts off towards the last 5 minutes or so, but I just want to go out and say that we did win this game. We managed to secure a second Baron, which inevitably gave us the win. So now that's out of the way, we can actually get into the actual game. So right now they were thinking of going for the invade on blue. I'm just trying to remember this game actually. It was quite a few days ago and we play daily for the most part. So Wings, as you saw in the beginning, you saw the champions we were playing and who's on our team. So yeah, they're camped down in mid brush. I think they're looking to rotate around to take our blue. We do have a ward and the river brush, so we are going to spot them coming round. They do come round for the invade. There's nothing we can really do about this. We're outnumbered here, so we just try and back off. Patrick does take a bit of damage there. He's just going to recall, go and start on his red buff and try and counter jungle to their blue. I think he does manage to get it off this game. I'm not sure. We'll have to check on him later. So pretty annoying start. We not something that typically does happen, especially not like that anyway. Invades have kind of evolved over this season, especially. So at least we knew they were coming, so we didn't get sneaked up on and give up first blood or anything like that. So that was the only upside to it. They did manage to take our blue, but I think we do answer for their blue. They do have it warded, as you can see. So we're just going to standard lanes right now. Interesting matchup in the top lane is Aurelia vs Gragas. Not much you can really do early against Gragas because he has good sustain, good poke. So she just got to sit back, try and farm up. She doesn't want to fall off too hard. She wants to stay pretty much relevant to this game. As you can see, just farming up. Pantheon, however, does come in. I don't think he can really answer much. I don't think he leveled up his stun. No, he didn't hit his Q&E there, so there you go. There wasn't much of a follow-up there. Katarina was pretty low. She could have easily got chunked down there, and as you can see, Patrick does answer for their blue, but unfortunately he's caught out right now, and he's getting collapsed upon. Aurelia does come up to try and scare them off. Pantheon does flash in. He goes really aggressive there, and they do give up first blood, and the blue buff does get given over to Gragas, so that's pretty bad. Unfortunately here, Stefan stays a little bit too long and tries to salvage something that was already lost, so they ended up giving up 2 kills when they could have only just given up the 1 to Patrick, given over blue buff and just gone back to Lennon. But that's kind of putting Aurelia behind now in CS. Gragas with a blue buff especially, he's going to have pretty much control of the lane from this point onwards. Unless he does manage to make a mistake and give the lead back to Aurelia. But at this point, he's just shoving in the lane, trying to deny as much CS as possible, which is always smart. You want to try and take these small advantages. He does a pretty good job of CS in under tower though. However, mid is shoving in pretty hard. I think Wings was trying to be roam heavy this game, just trying to shove the lane in as much as possible. Katarina doesn't have the best wave clear on the tower, so pretty smart of him to try and shove the lane in as much as possible. And Ari just has better wave clear in general, in my opinion. Although he does want to be a bit careful because he is blind on the right hand side of the map, so he wants to be careful of that. Meanwhile, down bot, we're just kind of shoving the lane in because Vayner has single target wave clear and I have my Q, so I can shove lanes better than Vayne, so it's only natural that the lane is pushing in our direction. Pantheon looks like he wants to have another go at mid lane this time. Oh no, he's not level 3 yet. Oh, you see he's level 3, my bad. So he is coming around from the backside. This is pretty poor on Wings' part for not having both sides warded, and he did flash early there, so the stun did connect. And yeah, that was just poor decision making from Wings there. He did flash too early, and he flashed as the stun was going off, so the flash was pretty much useless in that situation. He got dived on. He had no idea he was coming, so that was pretty bad. Meanwhile, top still shoving in. Grags with the blue buff, extremely annoying to deal with. He can just spam his Q. Not much is going on bot at the moment. It was kind of a farm lane for the most part. Just trying to CS as much as possible. Now, on the flip side, mid is pushing towards our direction, which could be good for Elise to come in for the gank. Probably set something up. Mid is also blind for Katarina as well, so we could easily make that happen. And there isn't the threat of Pantheon ulting in at the moment. However, Gragas is getting some good poke down on Aurelia. Probably going to force her to back soon. As you can see, he's pretty healthy and he's got the sustain. Blue buff has now run out. Relics does come in. Misses the cocoon, unfortunately, and there isn't much follow-up. That was unfortunate, he missed it either. They may have been able to burn the flash from Gragas. Oh no, his flash is already down, so that could have been a pretty decent gank. Wings putting a decent amount of damage onto Katarina, forcing her to play a little bit safer, closer to the tower perhaps. Again, nothing really happened in bot, not much to say there. We're just kind of going back and forth in the lane. I was trying my best not to shove it in too hard, because the threat of Pantheon ulting in is pretty a bit big, as well as the Gragas TP. Now, there's a fight happening top. This was bad. Aurelia was trying to come in there to save Patrick. Unfortunately, she got ulted for it, and they ended up giving up a double kill. However, Wings does come up for the roam, perhaps a little bit too late. So let's take a look at the replay. Pantheon's coming around from the side. We didn't have any vision there. He gets collapsed on. And they just pretty much clean up. Aurelia does try to come back in. She probably should have just stayed at the tower there. Gragas used his ult on her. Wings did come up for the cleanup, but I think it was a bit too late. They answered 2 for 1 in the end. Not the worst trade in the world, but I think it was just a lack of communication and a lack of vision top lane. Pantheon just trying to cause as much jungle pressure as possible. As you can see, he's counter jungling right now, trying to put Patrick as far behind as possible. He's already pretty far behind in terms of gold. He's 3-0 compared to 0-2, so that's pretty huge. Mid lane, Ari's low on mana. I think she's going around for the blue buff as we speak. Yes, she is. So hopefully the mana problem's sorted for her. She can keep harassing down mid, maybe shove it in, try and get some more roams off. Maybe a little more orchestrated this time round. There was I do remember there was a couple of times in this match where Wings was telling us he was coming to roam down, and we told him there was vision in specific parts where he was just running through. So he did kind of neglect to listen to us in those regards. Communication problems again. Aurelia's getting to a point now where she can start to handle Gragas a little bit better. As you can see, he's starting to chug away on his potions a bit. He did get an early chain vest, however. He did TP bot. I had really bad position in this fight. I kind of played into Vayne's E there and just kind of killed myself. So as you can see, that was a nice ult followed up by the Gragas TP down. Fox tries to help me out with the ult, but I had poor positioning and I just got collapsed upon. And they also forced exhaust out of Fox there, which probably wasn't needed, but he was trying to play it safe. So that was unfortunate. We got collapsed on. It was pretty good coordination from them. There wasn't much we could do about that. They had it nicely placed ward, so they can just easily collapse on us. And Leona has good engage potential, and she can just turn it on like a light switch, just like that, as you can see. Getting some good damage in the mid tower, however. Maybe we can make some easier plays around the jungle once the pressure of mid is opened up a little bit more, or mid is opened more for us, so we can create more pressure, I should say. Pantheon trying to create something mid. He is pretty low, they're both pretty low. I don't think they really wanted to engage upon anything here. Fox coming around for a... I don't know what Fox is doing here, to be fair. I think he was trying to come around and try and create something, but unfortunately his timing was off. And time wasted, really. Mid is, top is getting shoved in pretty hard. I think he's just trying to freeze the lane here as much as possible. I think he's doing a decent job of it. The threat of Pantheon now is a little bit more scary now that he has his ult available. Everyone has to be a little bit more on guard. As you can see, I'm trying to create some equal balance in the bot lane. I'm trying to de-push the wave as much as possible there. Mid tower though, however, is about to go down, so that could open up some pressure for Dragon, or relieve some pressure for Dragon, I should say. Keep getting them two mixed up. Now, if we don't want to create pressure when we take down towers, well, we're creating pressure for the enemy team, but from our team's point of view, we're not. It could be good. Like I said, it opens up a lot more of the jungle for us. Gives us more freedom as well in the mid lane, especially with Dragon plays. Gragas, however, putting down some decent damage. Probably going to have to force Aurelia back. She's low on mana and health. She can't really stay in this lane much longer. And there's the threat of Pantheon coming in and just collapsing on her. Wings flash mid. He didn't even get Katarina's flash from that, so I think he was a little bit too optimistic about that one, trying to get a catch onto her. Velux trying to create something top, I see. Placing a pink down in mid, just to kind of help Ari out a little bit more if Pantheon tries to come around. As you can see. They managed to get the flash out of Gragas, which is pretty decent. They probably wanted to keep a timer on that for the next gank, possibly. I don't think they would. I don't think they did, to be fair. But at least they got the flash out of Gragas. That could be useful in fights around Dragon Pit, or just trying to get picks in the jungle later on. I really took this opportunity now to just try and shove in top as much as possible. Pantheon's coming in to deal with that. She's just going to stun him up and walk away from that. There's not much Pantheon can do. He's a level down. Mid went down, so that creates some opportunities for us to make some plays around the Dragon area. So I think that's where we are looking to go next. The pink ward paying off here. We get a nice pick onto Pantheon. And Gragas did waste his ult there too, so that's pretty big for us if we're looking to create any sort of bait in the Dragon area coming up soon. We don't actually have any vision on Dragon at the moment. The enemies have 2 wards down. We have wards further up the Dragon Pit, but not actually in the Dragon Pit. So if they were to sneak around their jungle in the correct way, they could probably sneak the Dragon. But at the moment, as it seems, we seem to have pretty good pressure here. Knowing that his flash is down, Aurelia probably could have gone all in there. I think he was just trying to play it safe. He was pretty low, and the changes to the towers can catch you off guard. So he could have gone all in there, but it was probably the safer choice not to. So either way, it forces Gragas out of lane again. His TP is up if he does want to come back to lane. I think he's trying to save it for a potential Dragon fight coming up. Ari's starting to put some decent damage down on Katarina, forcing her to play a little bit more defensively than she was earlier. Pantheon is moving up to the area. I think he's just trying to create some tension here. Oh yeah, there seems to be a fight breaking out, bot and the dragons. Again, I don't know what it is. I was really out of position. That was our Nami ult missed everyone. We're just trading summoners at this point. I think we do manage to get the Vayne. No, we don't. Aurelia does come in though. Tries to clean up well. She got a double kill, which is pretty nice. They're outnumbered, so we're just cleaning up at the moment. Aurelia is pretty huge right now. Pantheon should go down here. The chase should be enough. Oh yeah, Jason lands a nice bubble when we clean up. We could probably get Dragon off this. So let's have another look at this from the beginning. So I flashed the Leona ult so I don't get stunned up. That's pretty good. Leona ult's down for this fight. But then slows my flash. We have vision on Pantheon going up towards the dragon area. So Patrick's there to try and zone him out a little bit. As you see, Ari's coming from the backside too. Bubble misses, not big of a deal. As you can see, they're coming back in to collapse on me. I was in bad position and again I got condemned. The Nami ult misses, but we managed to get a pick on Leona, which is big for this fight. Because she can't lock anybody up. Katarina comes in, manages to burst down Patrick. The exhaust goes down on her, so she can't really do much else afterwards. When Aurelia comes in, they just pretty much clean up with the AoE from Ari. And Aurelia is pretty fed right now. She can lock onto people. She's got some pretty good, decent damage. Plus she had red buff. And they're just chasing Pantheon with the cleanup. We essentially aced them in that fight. I was just pretty much non-existent factor because I got picked off. I was in a bad position. I was pretty much put my head on the silver platter from my position and it just allowed Vayne to condemn me into the wall, stun me up, and I just got picked off pretty easily there. We didn't actually get Dragon off this fight, but we managed to get some vision down, so any potential fights in the future we were prepared for. And the fact that we won that fight, everybody got back to Aurelia went back to shop, so now she's getting get some more items on her. Ari now has a death cap finished, so that's pretty big too. I think we have a stronger team fight at this point, and we managed to clean them up pretty easily, even though we were outnumbered in the beginning. As you can see, the placement bot suggests that they want to try and get a pick off on us so they can go around to do Dragon. Pantheon is moving up. He wants to do Dragon at this point, but there's too much of a pressure. We're all rotating down bot side so we can try and get something going with the Dragon. Patrick wants to start it off here. I think we're trying to bait the Dragon right now. They have vision on it. The sweeper just missed. Vayne gets caught out of position here. She gets chunked pretty hard. Leona ult misses everybody. Aurelia is coming in from the backside. Patrick does get picked off. Pantheon does flash there, although Ari does come in for the cleanup. And we do get Dragon off this, I believe. There's no point in chasing them. We're just going for the Dragon right now. Yep. So after that last fight, it allowed us to get some vision down so that we could prepare for this fight. As you can see, we had pretty much vision on everyone there, so we knew who to pick off. And the fact that the Leona ult missed everyone was pretty huge for that fight too. Aurelia was able to come in from the backside, no problem, no one was even around her, she just came in from the back, cleaned up, sort of like a surprise attack. And that was a pretty better coordinated fight than the first one. Although I did, again, had pretty poor positioning, so I was non-existent in that fight. I know I didn't die, but I couldn't really do much because of the positioning that I put myself in. I had to come around the backside of our tower, so I couldn't really get much damage down there. So I wasn't in that fight altogether. Veli getting picked off here, or Katarina's looking to pick him off. Wings could potentially come up to save him here, but there was no communication there. Aurelia does try to come down, but we don't have any vision in our jungle, so she doesn't realise she's outnumbered and she gets picked off. She's trying too hard to salvage something there. the lack of vision in our jungle resulted in 2 deaths for us, which was pretty bad. There was no reason for a Raider to get caught out there. Patrick should have just taken the death as it was, although Wings could have came up to help and potentially got the kill on Katarina, because he is a lot stronger than her at this point and does some decent damage. As you can see, he has some pretty big damage, and if they would have communicated that better, probably could have got the kill on Katarina. But that was just down to a lack of communication at that point. I think they're just trying to scare them out of lane, shove the lane out at this point. Go back. We have some decent vision around their red side near the dragon area, and we still have our pink in the river bush where Baron is, so yeah, I wasn't particularly on my best form in this matchup. I was getting out traded by Vayne almost most of the match, especially in the laning phase. I just couldn't get my positioning down properly. Although it really does manage, which is good. Any time that's down and not able to be used in a team fight is pretty good for us, especially when Dragon's about to come up or situations like that. If she can manage to draw out of him like that, then that's a pretty big win for us. We do manage to try and clear any wards to stop another Gragas TP coming in, but we kind of learned from our mistake, although they do have one in theirs, so do we, so we'd have vision of that. Bot lane didn't really get much action this game. We just kind of farmed up. We wasn't trying to be overly aggressive, we just was trying to farm and stay even, really. Let our solo laners do most of the work this game. So Gragas is really out of position here. We don't manage to get the kill on him, but he's so low he can't really be a factor in this fight. I get exhausted, not much I can do. And then Leona gets exhausted with no follow up. We do manage to get Pantheon out of this little song and dance. We drop a lot of members low, but no actual kills picked up other than that 1 kill on Pantheon. All pretty sloppy fight for us. We do manage to get a tower out of it though. Already is split pushing bot. She could have TP'd him for that fight. Oh no, she couldn't. TP was down. So she has the TP advantage now over Gragas, and she has a flash up when he doesn't. So that is that's something. We do actually manage to get 2 towers for this. Okay, no we don't. Pantheon ults again, just to try and wave clear, stop the lane from pushing him. But that fight that happened bot was pretty interesting. Gragas was kind of caught out of position and he wasn't expecting us to collapse on him like that. He almost died for it. I think if he'd have died for it, that could have swung in our favour, because it probably would have scared them out of the fight and probably allowed us to collapse on them better. That being said, however, it was a pretty sloppy fight for us, but also for them, considering they were ahead before that point. They allowed us to catch up by making indecisive moves like that, which later in the game allows us to pull ahead and win the game. Leona does ult me. I was the only one she managed to ult there, but luckily Wings' presence didn't allow for much follow up for them. Gragas gets picked off in the mid lane, which is good. Aurelia is pretty fed now. She has a Triforce. She's hit a power spike for the mid game. Gragas opted out for the Rod of Ages build this game. That was a pretty poorly initiated, poorly coordinated fight. That could have gone better if we focused one target down at a time. I did manage to pick up Vayne in the end and the tower, so it wasn't a completely bad trade for us. It was more a bad trade for them considering they were ahead before this point. As you can see the gold graph, we are actually ahead for the most part. We do have a 5,500 gold lead at this point, or just over 5,000 now. We're starting to create pressure in all the lanes at this point, so it's pretty good for us. It allows us to set up some moves elsewhere around the map. As you can see what happened mid there. I managed to pick off Pantheon. Me and Ari managed to pick off Pantheon by ourselves, so that was pretty good. And Dragons just came up, so that's pretty bad for Pantheon to be out of position and to get caught out like that. That removes any smite threat. The timers, however, are pretty low, and he does have his ult up. But at this point, we can take the dragon pretty fast with Elise. They don't even have vision on dragons. They don't know we're taking it. That was pretty good for us. Getting that pick allowed us to get dragon off that, so that was good. Taking little advantages in games like this allows you to pull ahead pretty easily. In the game, it didn't feel like we were actually doing much, but we little by little we persevered and managed to pull through. They were making more mistakes than we were, even though both teams were pretty much coming out even across the board. They had the upper hand, they had the lead in the beginning, and they allowed us to come back in the game. Katarina getting picked off there, just kind of underestimating the power of Ari, I guess. We have some pretty good red side, their red side vision. And it's allowing us to create these plays across the map, getting these picks, just because we can catch people off guard. And it's quite apparent that they didn't have the same amount of vision we did, because we were getting picks left, right and centre at this point. Pantheon is top, however. Aurelia does TP just to kind of stop that push, and we were just pushing down the mid lane. At first that looked like a bad Grag assault, but the follow-up was pretty good. Nami didn't have her Mikhails at this point, so there wasn't much in the way of getting out of that situation once they were locked up like that. So I managed to get out, but we did lose 2 there. It was a 2-for-1, but we did get the tower. So like I said, these trades seemed even, but we were coming out ahead each time because we just got this slight advantage by the fact that they got 2 kills, but we got a kill and a tower. So the gold equated to more in the end. And the amount of vision we had in itself the amount of vision speaks for itself. The lead we were getting, because just look at the amount of vision we have in the red side jungle at the moment. It's just okay. So if I remember this particular play, Ari was kind of caught in between their entire team. She was halfway down mid lane farming, and they had spotted her and she couldn't get back. And Wings quoted that he was being a distraction, but we quite clearly pointed out to him that he wasn't being a distraction for anything. And then he kind of admitted to his misplay, and he said he thought he could escape. So it was just a misplay on his part, and he understood the mistake he'd made. They only got Ari off there. They didn't get much else from that. They didn't really create much pressure off that pick they got. We still held the gold lead, and it was this point in the game where we was trying to look towards Baron, as they were too. They get a nice pick on Katarina there. Unfortunately, don't manage to pick up Vayne because Fox probably didn't auto attack as much as he should have there. It was a bit unfortunate, but we got the pick nevertheless. Now this was really stupid by me. I accidentally ran up and auto attacked Baron, so it did put a hell of a lot of damage onto me. It did force the Leona ult out, which had no follow up. But that was really this game for me in general was just pretty bad. I just wasn't really doing much. I was just kind of there when they needed me. I did manage to pick up this kill in the end, as nobody else was going to. So, and this allowed us to know we could probably securely get Baron off this. So we were walking up for Baron. They didn't have any vision on it. we know they didn't have any vision on it. So we decided to go for the Baron call, which was a pretty good decision for us. And we know that Dragon's up soon, so we could probably rotate and get that. Pantheon does come in. We're thinking he's probably not going to get this. But unfortunately, Patrick missmited, and they did manage to get Baron off this. We were pretty devastated about that. Patrick was pretty devastated more than anyone else because he really kicked himself for that. He said straight out, I missmited, I don't know what I was doing. Unfortunately, we do manage to pick off Pantheon and Katarina for it, but it wasn't enough. Yeah, let's take another look at this. Just slowed it down just a little bit. As you can see, Pantheon ults in. When it's about 40%, we continue fighting it because we know we can probably pick him off if he comes in. Because, you know, there's 4. But as you can see, out of panic, Patrick smites there, and it still has about 800 HP left. So Pantheon just came in, smited it. He knew he was going to die for it, but he was thinking, well, we got Baron for that. That was pretty good. We were behind for a while, and we managed to steal Baron from them. That's pretty good for us. That did kind of piss Patrick off. It was really bad for the team. But we're still far ahead. We're confident in our plays, so we do manage to still keep up the pressure. We knew it was pretty stupid to try and fight them, but in any other situation. But in a situation like this, where we weren't too far behind, we weren't too worried about it, since we had a pretty good lead, and we still had a 5k gold lead, taking Baron. So we were upset that we didn't get it, but we knew that that wasn't the end of the game for us. We could just wait out the Baron buff, maybe get a pick here or two with the amount of vision we had in the jungle, and just try again in the next Baron fight. Just better prepare it, better prep for it, and just anticipate for another smite still. If it were to come, we would play accordingly for that. I managed to get some pretty good damage down at Gragas. I knew I was getting pretty strong at this point in the game. I just needed to try not to die and farm up, and I was doing pretty good. I think, yeah, Aurelia does TP bot, and we're just going to try and stop their push. We do manage to get it. So, I'm just going to talk about the remainder of the match, since you guys aren't going to be able to see it. There is a fight that breaks out over contention for the dragon, which we do manage to slip up on because Gragas gets a really good TP and manages to zone me out the entire fight. Katarina just manages to jump all around us, and Katarina is pretty easy at getting to the back line. And since Gragas was zoning, I was a non-factor in the fight. As you can see, Gragas TP's right in between me and the rest of my team, so I can't do much in the way. And Leona's there now. Gragas was moving towards me, and you can see Katarina just manages to jump around the whole team. I got locked up by Leona, and she manages to clean up. They get Dragon. But the remainder of the match is they started making misplays in the mid lane. And as you can see, throughout the majority of that game, we were able to get picks off in their jungle just from superior vision. And we tried for the second Baron of the game, we managed to get it, and we just pushed through mid and ended the game like that. Just wanted to say before the video ends that I'm sorry that I couldn't get the entirety of this video, because it really annoyed me going back through this when I was editing it to make it look better this time around as opposed to the first video. And something or other messed up with the file, and it corrupted the last 6 minutes or so. This was a 39-minute match, so that was annoying, but I do assure you we did win. We managed to just make better end-game decisions and then make more decisive calls. The second call for Baron was pretty good. Patrick did manage to smite it, and we got it pretty uncontested. They did come around from the backside, and we managed to clean them up and push for the win. It was pretty straightforward. But I want to thank everybody for watching this. If you did, if you found it insightful, if you found it interesting, then that's good. There'll be more replays to come soon. Trying to get them more frequently out, but sometimes it's a long process of editing and days in between. But anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling now. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in our future videos.